We're joined now by the editor-in-chief of The Hill, Bob Cusack. And Bob, watching Donald Trump read from a teleprompter giving specifics is so different than what we saw yesterday when he was having that kind of staged town hall, speaking off the cuff and mentioning many fewer specifics. What do you make of what Donald Trump is saying now? Increased military spending, the U.S. will make new friends with countries that are devoted to destroying ISIS. Are the undecided voters at this stage likely to be convinced?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I certainly think that a lot of people are now paying attention. Traditionally, post-Labor Day is when a lot of voters tune in, and you're seeing a bit of a different Donald Trump, more subdued. I think the speech was effective. When he's on message, it's better than when he's going after Gold Star families or getting into side spats with media figures. His target needs to be Hillary Clinton, her emails, her policies. That's what Republicans on Capitol Hill that I talked to, that's what they want. And he might be slowly getting there, but then he's always going to have a tweet or some other type of interview where he's going to go off script. But I do think, some people say it's boring, but in politics, you have to be on script. He has defied political gravity, defied all the rules. I don't think he's boring, but I do think he has to be more on message and so show some political discipline. It's been inconsistent.
It has been inconsistent. And when you talk about, and you look, for instance, his comments on military, specifically John McCain, very early in the campaign, he said he would prefer somebody who wasn't captured. I mean, he took some heat for that comment. He still hasn't really endorsed John McCain. And then you look at his attacks on a Muslim Gold Star family. How is it that these numbers are so strong for him when it comes to those in the military? Military Times poll also showed something similar earlier in the year. 54% supported him. How do you explain that divide?
Well, there's certainly some Teflon going on with Donald Trump. A lot of people predicted that would be the end of Donald Trump when he made those controversial remarks about John McCain, and then they repeated that prediction about a dozen more times. So I do think that he focuses on the military, focuses on veterans issues. You know, his critics have said he doesn't really have a plan. That veterans, some veterans, you know, they're treated very well. But he is really, you know, when he skipped the Fox debate and then he did a veteran fundraising effort. I mean, veterans notice that. So I think talking about the issues gets the attention of voters. And it's, as a candidate, you've got to decide what issues am I going to talk about and what voters am I targeting. And so I do think that he's got a slight edge going into tonight. He also goes second, and I think that's an advantage. Hillary Clinton going first, that's an advantage for Donald Trump. But this is kind of like the preseason. We're not going to get the real debate where they're both on the stage until September 26th. But this could be interesting.
One of the issues Hillary Clinton is likely to hit Donald Trump on is, with all this speak of diplomacy and foreign policy, he is yet to clarify his view of Vladimir Putin and Russia. In fact, even yesterday when he was asked by Lieutenant General Flynn, one of his advisors, about foreign policy, Trump kind of makes this comment where he says, wouldn't it be great if we got along with Russia? Wouldn't it be great if we actually worked with them? And of course, his former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, who has resigned, did so in a cloud of suspicion over these alleged cash payments for his work supporting a pro-Russian Ukrainian president. What impact is that likely to have, and what does Donald Trump need to do to clarify all this?
The Manafort story certainly did not help Donald Trump, and that led to Manafort leaving the campaign, no doubt about it. As far as the average voter, I don't think it's a big factor. I don't think they're going to the polls thinking about who's a friend of Putin and who's not. And remember, in 2012, you had Mitt Romney and Obama going at it, where Romney was saying, well, we can't trust Russia, and Obama saying, well, wait a minute, the Cold War is over. So the politics on this have completely flipped over the last 4 years. I do think that Democrats, you know, there is some polling that suggests it works. Otherwise, Democrats wouldn't be talking about it. But I don't think it's going to be a big dent to Donald Trump. He's got other things, other weaknesses that Democrats are going after, bigger ones like not releasing his tax returns.
Bob, Mitt Romney had 500 retired generals supporting him with a full-page ad in the last election cycle. We know Hillary Clinton paraded out Republican former national security advisors, but ultimately, does this type of endorsement make a difference to the voters?
I don't think so. I think that they certainly grab headlines. when you have big military figures or retired military figures like Colin Powell, who has not said who he's going to vote for, and has been critical of Hillary Clinton on their communication about the email system of what he did and what she did at the State Department, I think he'll probably stay out of this one. I think overall it doesn't make a big difference. It doesn't really change the whole dynamic of the race unless it is a huge figure that both Trump and Clinton want. A lot of these military people, just most people have not heard of.
All right, Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief of The Hill, joining us from Washington. Thanks for your insight today.
Thank you.